Hi, I'm Mr. Hernandez. I teach three classes: Intro to STEM, Intro to Programming, and Investigating Careers. But all three classes are structured the same way. You get to decide what you want to learn. You have the choice between 3D printing, web programming, game programming, robotics, and if you complete robotics, then you can do drones. So I've thought long and hard about how to do this video, and there's a lot of different places that I could take this, but I've decided that I'm going to deal specifically with this. The idea. Now, this is from Inception. An idea, this is the actual quote here, but an idea is like a virus. It's resilient, highly contagious. Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it is almost impossible to eradicate. It's almost impossible to eradicate. Allow me to do some eradication right now. See, the idea that I've heard a lot of, I've heard it on TikTok, I've heard students say it to me. I've Googled it. This generation has no future. There's almost a more than a billion results. I don't know how relevant all the results are, right? But on the first page, millennials and Gen Z have no future. And what is the argument? Well, the argument is inflation. The argument is um, Social Security and all these different things that used to exist and don't exist, and supposedly we've destroyed the American dream. Supposedly, this is what I'm told. I'm told a lot of things by a lot of people, and I hear them, and it doesn't make sense to me. Now, yes, I will argue that inflation is a bad thing. I mean, I won't argue that. It is a bad thing, right? So, you know, I paid approximately the same amount of money for my house, or I'm paying, because I don't own my house, I mortgage it. So I'm paying approximately the same amount as my father paid for his house, and he had a bigger house and more land, right? So he had a full acre, I don't have a full acre. Uh, he had 5 floors, and I have maybe 3 if you want to count my unfinished attic. Right? Comparably, my father had more home. Okay, so he got more for less money, right? And that there's no argument. If we go back in time, you got more for less money, right? So, that's the basics of inflation. And this is the argument that because of this and the way that the future has worked, now the kids have no hope. That's what these articles are saying. That's the idea. It's an idea because it's not actually true. It's just an idea. Okay. Now, yes, you may be talking about inflation, but your generation, this supposed has no future, does have something that my generation did not have. Okay. And that is immediately accessible things. Okay. So let's get into it specifically for my class. 3D printing. Okay. Now, in my class, immediately applicable, you could learn how to make, let's say, something very simple, a keychain or a cell phone holder, right? Something that props up your phone and holds it for you while you're watching a video, right? Or making a TikTok, because you kids love to do those things, right? If you figured out how to make this in Tinkercad and print it out, right? And you're in my class, say, for 9 weeks, you can print 9 of these things, and let's say you sell them for $5 each. Okay, you've made some nice pocket change there. Heck, you can even sell 8 of them and keep one for yourself. And you've made some good pocket change. You've at the very least shown that with a 3D printer at home, you could immediately, at the age of 12 and 13, get into business for making little 3D prints. Okay? And that's the most basic thing I could think of off the top of my head. Now, going further into the future, this is Glassdoor, and there are tons and tons and tons of jobs that use 3D printing, right? So as you can see, like right here, dentist is the more high end, $250,000. Here it says it's $29,000 to $270,000. So obviously you're not gonna just become a dentist because you know how to 3D print. There's more applied with that, but they're showing you that 3D printing is a part of dentistry. So as an intro to 3D printing, an intro to STEM or intro to learning these things, you could say, hey, I could go into dentistry and take my knowledge of 3D printing to make, I'm sure they use that for braces. I showed, people's molds for their teeth and, probably dental implants. There's all sorts of things I'm sure they use in dentistry. But not just that. Here's a foundry engineer, mechanical engineer. There's plenty of business using 3D printers. 3D printers are becoming more and more prevalent. So the opportunities for you to be successful learning how to 3D print are there. So let's continue on. Web programming. I went to ZipRecruiter and I looked up web programming jobs. Now, web programming is so prevalent that at this point, even basic jobs require some knowledge of web programming. My wife is a realtor. She's not a web programmer, but she still has to post uh, on her personal website for her realtor site. Now, it's very simple, and for the most part, her realtor company takes care of it, but she does have to have a simple, basic understanding. And as far as what I teach in my class, my wife, I've given her that understanding as well. So you can come right out of my class and have the basic web programming knowledge to run your own website. And if you decide later on to become a realtor, that would be something you would now not have to pay for an outside person to handle your website for you. Okay? But that being said, if you really like web programming, there's tons of web programming jobs because just like with 3D printing, the web has become more prevalent, not less prevalent. Game programming, which is one of the more popular choices in my class. Kids like video games and they want to learn how to make video games. Well, right out of my class at 12 and 13 years old, something I would never be able to have said when I was 12 or 13 years old, you can make a game in middle school in my class and then put it on the Construct 3. You will be learning Construct 3. This is Construct 3, Construct's website. These games were made with Construct 3, and now they are for sale. $5, $7, $14, $14, $10, and there's pages and pages and pages and pages of them. You, as a middle school student, can make a game on Construct 3 and start making money as quickly as this summer. And that is not something that was ever available to me at your age. Okay? So I don't like hearing things like there's no hope for this generation. That's hope. Because let me tell you right now, if you're 12 years old and you're making $12 a game, okay, this is one game. What's the template? Candy Blast Pack, that looks like it's more of a game here, right? Okay, or Air War for 1941, that looks like a game, $14 instead of 12. All right, full game. There you go. Okay? If you make Air War 1941 and you're selling it for $14, every person who downloads this game is paying you $14. Okay? That's amazing. And if you do that multiple times, okay, this is where we have high school millionaires. We have kids who have already, started their own gaming company. Because Construct is basic. Then you can get into Unity. Then you can get into the Unreal Engine. So, okay, yes, inflation may now be requiring you to pay more money, but on the same token, your intellect and your resources that are available to you are greater. Did my father have, even though he had uh, a lower price tag on the things he wanted, was he able to start at 12 and 13 years old actually working in the industry that he's interested in and had joy in? That is a no, because I didn't even have that at my age. Okay, I had to wait until I graduated college for these kinds of things to be available to me. And they are right now available to anyone hearing my voice as I speak these words. Okay? Not to mention, you can then go to college and become a computer programmer and all the things that you can do. This is just the baseline. Okay, you could pay for college with your gaming. Air War 1941. Okay, you could pay for college. $14 per person. Okay, you put that on, now here on Construct, probably not as popular, but if you dropped it on Google Play or something of that nature, millions of people start downloading it as $14 million. You're going to college for free, kiddo. Okay? You got to think big if you want big. It's just that simple. Robotics? Hey, in my class, you learn how to build a clawbot. Here, clawbots, they're building cars. Now, they don't have claws on the end. They have welding machines and, different machines for whatever that function. But it's the basic clawbot. If you look at the clawbot on the robot, okay, same design. And this one's building cars. Okay. Do I have to go into how prevalent robotics is? I don't think I need to. Okay, that goes with drones too. Here's Indeed. Okay, showing drone jobs. $40 an hour, drone pilots. $80,000 a year if you're flying drones. Okay, $100 to $500 a day, drone. And I think it's safe to say drones are becoming more prevalent, not less. Okay, so all of this right here is hope for your generation. All of this is immediately applicable in my class. These are the things you will learn coming out of my class, saying this is my first step in all of these different industries. Okay, and this one, again, you could start today. And this one today, you got 3D printing, theoretically, you could start today. Okay? You could probably even find somebody who needs a web page made for them in the summertime and start making money as a kid doing that right away. You have more opportunities open to you, not less. Okay? I would simply say that the competition is higher because you have to learn how to do these things, but the resources are available for you to learn. And then finally, probably my favorite is esports. So this is Rochester Institute of Technology. This is their Hearthstone esports team, and we have an HMS esports team, a Hearthstone esports team. Okay, learn how to play Hearthstone. These guys went to college. Okay, so they worked for years to get to this point. Okay, and then he goes, reading this real quickly. Okay, what's on the line? A trophy and a $9,000 per person prize. Okay, because you can win. And spoiler, when was this? This is 2019. Yeah, this is old. They actually did win. They did win that championship. They've been winning championships. Rochester Institute of Technology has been winning the collegiate esports for Hearthstone. I think 2 years in a row now. And again, to be able to play a video game and be professional, where you can go, this is the Rochester Institute of Technology, okay, competing in the Collegiate Esports Championship. Okay, they go to college playing video games. Okay, and they're all going to college at Rochester Institute of Technology, which is right up there with MIT. And that's immediately tangible, okay? Where you can be in my class, you can come to our esports team, you can learn how to play Hearthstone and get. I had one kid get gold last last fall. He got gold. If he continues on to platinum, he qualifies for an esports scholarship. Okay? If he gets to diamond, he could just go to the competitions by himself and potentially become a pro Hearthstone player just on his own without if he decides not to go to college. These are all opportunities that are open to the children of today that the previous generations had no access to. So, you absolutely do have hope. What I have witnessed is a lack of desire from children of your age to do those things, which brings the whole next conversation of self control, cell phone addiction, okay, and actually building the um, work ethic and habits necessary to be successful. That if you start talking to me about why this generation has no future, no hope, whatever, it has not, and it has very little to do with inflation and the problems that they're talking about, but everything to do with dopamine addiction and cell phone uh, psychological tactics that are used to keep you on social media. But but that's a whole other conversation. I don't want to inundate you so much with an intro, okay? But I just wanted to, go over the things you can learn in my class. What are you interested in learning? That's the question. What do you want? The first step to accomplishing your goals, have some goals. So hopefully this year we'll come up with some together.